Right, Luke's winding me up here, right? Because everybody knows that the man cave is in the garden. This is basically a shed, and it's got some insulation. And when we were basically getting ready to start recording these videos, I said to him, "I'm gonna have to turn my heater off now because it's a little bit too loud. It's freezing in here, and it is a little bit cold. I'm doing all I can not to shiver." And then Luke has just said to me, "Hold on, before we start this video, I just got to go. I've got to turn the heating off. It's absolutely roasted. I'm burning up in here." You're right. You're not overcooked, are you?
You know what it is, mate. I'm sure your wife is the same, mate. They're always cold, aren't they? Forever cold. So my missus, boom, straight on 30, and I'm just sitting there like dying, thinking I'm going through male menopause.
Do you not turn it down? Do you not sneak it down?
Yeah, now I get told off.
Okay, so what do you sneak it down to?
I turn it off, mate. I can't deal. Like, I'm the hottest person all the time. Yeah. Like, I can't deal with heat. Like in the winter, I'm still with the fan on. I put the fan on at bedtime.
Have you got that? Have you got the one where it clicks? You know, like
when
you
turn
the wheel,
it click when it gets to 15.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. So that's your thermostat, right? Obviously, I've right. So I've got it. It's not that I'm tight. Well, I am, right? But I am a bit like you. I don't like it too hot. I find myself unable to breathe, and I think like central heating, too much of it breeds colds and stuff like that. You're a PE teacher, mate, right? You're out. You're running around in the field with bicycles, probably dropping off your knees today. Quite frankly, were you wearing shorts?
Oh no, mate. No, the shorts don't come out till about May.
Okay,
I get taken the mickey out about all the time, mate. Warm weather PE teacher I am.
Fair enough. Well, the missus said, to be fair, she has been on a night shift, and when she had much sleep, she gets on, she's asleep on the sofa. She's got a blanket, she's got a throw over her. She'll turn that heating up a little bit, and I clicked it, and it went up to 5. So it was obviously up to 5, and it clicked. So it must have been 5 degrees in there. So I thought, you know what I mean? I'll treat her. So I put it up to 9.
Ebenezer, can I have a bit of cold, please?
That's right. God bless you, Mr. Scrooge. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be definitely be visited by the 3 ghosts. Anyway, speaking of the ghost of Christmas future, it's Aston Villa coming up. You been impressed by them?
Oh yeah. I think we missed one of their key players, to be honest, mate. Barkley. I think that's a player that would have improved us. I think. I like his drive with the ball. He's got a fantastic shot, and he obviously Ollie Watkins, another one that would have improved us probably. Offered support for Antonio. They're a good side. They've got a good manager, and then I'm not even mentioning the new Gaza, Jack Grealish. What a player, mate! What a player! A joy to watch. Absolute joy to watch, mate. Unbelievable footballer. God knows how much he's worth now. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, really impressed, mate. Really impressed.
Well, I definitely think Moyes was after Watkins, and you could see him operating in that system, couldn't you?
Definitely, yeah. Good player.
Have you seen Matty Cash play?
Bits and bobs. Yeah, I know he's a bit of a player though. Yeah, bits and bobs I've seen.
Well, we did the cup of tea and stuff like that last season, and we were saying, to the people in the chat, tell us who you players from the Championship. Bowen came up a lot. Benrahma came up a lot. Funny that we got both of them really in that respect. And I think Matty Cash was one of the most prominent players, and we know Moyes wanted him. And I know it's not any big deal now because now we've got Soufal in. But he's a really, really good player, mate. I think he looks. They paid 15 million for him. He does look like a 20 million pound fullback. What do you think of Soufal, by the way?
I like him. He's got limitations. I think Paul texts me every bloody day. He can't cross the ball. He can't cross the ball, though. He can't cross the ball. And I'm like, yeah, but
not every day he's texting.
Yeah, not every day.
In the middle of lunch, and he's got nothing to do with football. He just, you start saying you're watching Netflix tonight, and he texts back, he can't cross the ball.
But yeah, during the match, it'll be all the time. He's a good defender, but he can't cross the ball. And I'm like, yeah, but as we all know, mate, he's a right back. He's not a right wing back. I know he's supposed to offer that attacking threat, but that's something he can work on potentially. Maybe just get him in there, pinging balls into the box. But you can't deny his work ethic. He's a good defender. He knows all the naughty little tricks, to pull the shoulder, and just little nasty tackle, just about missed the yellow card. Yeah, I like him, mate. I like him. And it's good that Souček's there as his mate, keeps it, as we were sort of saying about Felipe Anderson, the other one, having a mate, sort of keeps him grounded. He's got someone to have a drink with, someone to have food with.
Do you think
Yeah.
that's why? That's why we're going to try to buy the rest of Slavia Prague?
Yeah, we're buying that other geezer, aren't we? Crawl or something? That's Crow. I can't even remember.
Whatever it is, I will be pronouncing it wrong. Don't worry about that. We could do it together. Would you have Soufal in instead of Fredericks? Then would you carry on with that, particularly for the Villa game?
Fredericks has had a good start to the season,
Yeah,
and I'm the first to slate him. I was like, he always gets caught out.
No, surely you are the second to slate him. Surely no one slates him more than me, but yeah.
But I was quite impressed with him at the start. I think it was the Arsenal game, wasn't it? He did quite well, and he did well against Traore in the Wolves game. But he's very limited. He's very limited. He's a what I like to call a pace whore.
I like it. I like it. No, so what's 4 nails then?
No pace whore.
No. But a whore nonetheless. Yeah. Oh crikey! I'm going to get told off for that one. There's been someone be coming in the comments. You can't believe you brought 4 nails' sexuality into it again. Okay, right. So, would you roughly? Oh, this is what I'm interested in because it's going to lead on. Because I want to get your opinions on Benrahma. Right? Would you keep the team more or less the same to play Aston Villa?
I'd bring Antonio in. I think I would drop Haller and bring Antonio in purely because he's just such a nuisance. He's a goal machine at the moment. He seems to have really developed into a striker. He was another one a few years ago. I was like, this geezer's got no technique. He's one of the most frustrating players ever. But when he does get it right, he's amazing. One of them 20-yard ones have got to go in one day as well. When he cuts in on the corner and he just wallops one. One of them is going in one day, and I'm waiting for it. But I think Antonio's the only one. And then, you can argue, does Fornals or Bowen come out for Benrahma? And Benrahma is the one I wanted to sign the most. I know there's that argument of where does he fit?
Why?
I just think he's sensational, mate. I just think, like...
What's he do? What's he do for people who haven't seen him? What do you like about him?
Well, my mate in work, the Newcastle fan, was like, have you ever seen Brentford? Like, when we just signed Bowen, it was. I was like, no. He goes, watch him. And, I started watching a few of their games. Mate, he's unbelievable. The way he cuts inside, shoots... He's got a lovely pass. Just audacity is like ridiculous on the ball. He reminds me of Mahrez a lot. Maybe a poor man's Mahrez. But I really hope he gets in the team. I think he's got the potential to be a fantastic player for us. And the sort of player we all love. West Ham players love. The Payets, the Paolos. They're what. That's the only joy we get. We don't win anything.
No. Well, this is true enough. Actually, that's a sore subject. The wounds have started to heal about the Everton game, but it's my only sort of it don't take much for me to get reminded. You just did it then, actually. So I thought it was terrible what happened against Everton, but I don't want to go back over old ground. It just when you said about winning things, I need to see a little bit more that we can win things because actually the great irony about all this is. We are now a team that can, on our day, beat anyone.
Definitely.
Look, we drew against Man City. We could have beaten Liverpool. All right. I thought we were better than Arsenal when we played them as well. We can beat anyone, and if you can beat anyone, well, I'll tell you what, you've got a chance of winning the cup.
Yeah.
All you've got to do is put that team out and take the cup seriously. So and listen, in terms of watching a flamboyant player, yeah, I totally get it and I totally understand it, and I want to see him as well. But I do want, I want Moyes to want to love him.
Yeah,
I want him to be a Moyes signing. I want it to have been Moyes' choice, and I want to buy into the script that Moyes is just breaking him in slowly. That's a terrible phrase. Terrible.
I get what you're sort of saying there. Like what he did with Bowen, where he sort of held him back, and it was like whoosh, there you go. Yeah. I'm hoping that comes, and it's like, but when is it going to come?
Well, is it? Yeah, but it depends on whether it was his signing. If the signing has been forced upon him by Sullivan, what's your instinct on that? What do you think happened there?
Oh, I don't know. I think it possibly is a Sullivan signing. I think it reeks of it. I think it's like we'll hold it out. Oh, but you can have this one for 25 million, but you can't have that one that you actually wanted for like 30 million or whatever. But my agent, Mr. Will Salthouse, he's got this guy for you. Not that I'm disappointed. I wanted Benrahma. I wanted him. That's the name I've been calling for all summer. I wanted him. That was the first guy I wanted. Not even Eze, none of that. I wanted Benrahma to be the first signing. And the fact that it did happen, I was buzzing. But yeah, maybe it's not a Moyes signing. But sometimes, for me, I think if a player of that quality comes up, you've got to go above the manager's head sometimes. I think if I was David Sullivan, I would go, well, actually, Dave, I don't really care. This geezer's so good, we're going to sign him. I don't know what your opinion is on that.
Well, I'll tell you my opinion on that. I think that's all very well and good, but if it's a £30 million asset, it's a hell of a risk to buy somebody that might not get played for that sort of money. Oh, the only question on that, if it's true, and we're sort of guessing here, is Moyes stubborn enough to dig his heels and say, I'm not playing it? Now, personally, I don't think he is. As I'll tell you why, because I think he made up his minds initially on Fornals, that Fornals wasn't part of his plans. Fornals was able to convince him otherwise. I think he thought Anderson was part of his plans, and Anderson was able to convince him otherwise. And I think the same is true of Balbuena, who I don't think he fancied at all. And now I think he fancies Balbuena more than Diop. So I do think that actually Moyes is maybe not as stubborn as we might think. I do think that he is open to change. What I do believe, though, is that you've probably got to do quite a lot to prove yourself to. Once you've proved yourself, I think you're in.
Oh yeah, you're trusted by him. I think I agree. Mate. Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's what he's got to do.
He needs that moment. He needs that moment. You know, he's assisted a goal, which good. But then he gives that penalty away, and it probably Moyes' brain clicks straight back in. Like, I don't know.
Well, I think he needs more than a moment. I think he needs at least a really solid 45 minutes where he's creating and where the team doesn't lose its shape. And so Moyes can think, oh, actually, I can use this guy. This guy can operate in there. We'll get our final predictions on Aston Villa in a minute, and just what you think will happen in that game. But before you do, what I've just said about Benrahma fitting in, that's in the current system. Obviously, the conversation has been over the last few days about the switcher system, the two up front, and something like that. It doesn't have to be the two up front. When I did the video and I asked the comments, and I actually said at the end, what team do you think? What do you want to see? A lot of people came up with a 3-5-2, and there's some. I read everyone's teams, and some really interesting suggestions in there. What do you think? Do you think that's it with the formation we got? With I say the Jack Jones up front formation, or do you think he might switch it? Do you think he's got it within himself, or do you think he's decided that's it?
I think that's it. I don't think we'll see much change until we sign some players. I think if you ideally had a good left back, I would like to see 4-2-3-1. So you've got decent left back. If we signed whatever, the two defenders of Bono and whoever, Soufal, Rice, Souček, Fornals
as a number 10,
Benrahma, Bowen, Antonio. So then you've got the wingers there. You've got Fornals linking the play. That's what I would like to see. It's sort of a fashionable formation, 4-2-3-1.
Well, but you've said it actually. Then a lot of people made the points. As I say, a lot of people in the comments section on this channel said the same. You switch to a back four, and as you alluded to, it brings up the left back problem again. And I also do think it takes away one of our biggest goal scoring threats, Aaron Cresswell.
Yeah,
that's the other thing with it. And I've looked at Aaron. We talked about in the video we did yesterday. We spoke about West Ham stats in terms of goals conceded, so on and so forth. Aaron Cresswell's stats are pretty remarkable this season. You seen them?
Oh mate, fantastic, mate. I thought Sheffield United did really well to nullify him the other day. Actually,
yes,
I think that was part of their plan. I think they always seemed to have 2 or 3 on him, like when he had the ball, as if they'd researched it. Like, oh, we'll get on him because he pings it. So I'm hoping that's not been figured out by managers.
That is, I've got to be honest, I would love it if that was the case, because this is what I've been wanting for a long, long time. I wanted other teams to worry about West Ham, other teams to think, oh crikey, we've got to do a little tactical plan to can't West Ham. And if other teams are earmarking players to mark our centre back when he comes out, and I'll tell you what, that's creating space elsewhere. And actually, funny enough, we go back to Benrahma. That is a reason to get someone like that in the team, because you do not want to be outnumbered.
Be centre back.
No, absolutely. But actually, funny enough, even the way we are down the left with Masuaku and the way he can play triangles with other players, you do not want to be outnumbered against us. And I think if you do try and press that's a dangerous tactic actually. But I tell you what, it's a really good observation. I hadn't thought of that, but now you mention it.
Yeah, I made a point of watching it, because I said it to my dad. I was like, there's 2 players on Cresswell all the time in that Sheffield United game. Whenever we got it, it was like, no, we're not going to let him pass it out. So yeah, hopefully
That's
it's
really,
maybe
that's
something to
really
look for.
interesting.
It's something to look
Yeah,
for.
I will,
Villa
I
game,
will,
yeah.
I will, I will. And I've been watching it as well because I've been watching the way that when he goes, Declan Rice goes and sits back. I think that's really interesting what they do there. And Aaron Cresswell said they gave a really, really interesting interview this week, and I think it was on the official website. And he had said it's not five at the back or three at the back. It's more complicated than that. The tactics are more complicated. And I thought, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Souval's job is different to Masuaku's job. It's not. They're not a mirror image of one another.
No.
They're doing different things. But this is Moyes, right? So I watched when we first signed Moyes. People were coming up when we second signed Moyes for the second time. People were kept on showing these David Moyes masterclass.
Oh yeah,
These
I did watch it.
masterclass videos.
I did watch
Yeah,
it.
but funny enough, we'd seen the same bloody things with Pellegrini. Pellegrini done some videos as well. And a funny thing, when we wanted Eddie Howe about a year or so ago, people were sharing, "Oh look, here's an Eddie Howe taking a training session." Well, crikey, I've now learned not to pay any attention to the coaching YouTube videos at all. Honestly, you might as well just go and watch Stranger Things or something like that. It'll give you as much tactical knowledge as watching them. But anyway, he did an interview after one of them, and he was talking about his team at Everton. And he was talking about his fullbacks. Eventually, he liked his fullbacks at Everton. And what he was saying was, before he was able to get Seamus Coleman in, he had to run things really differently. So he had Hibbert on the right-hand side. But on the left-hand side, he has...
Baines.
Exactly.
Baines,
and he was saying they had to switch the system a little bit differently. So he was never asking his two fullbacks to do the same thing. So actually, they arranged it so as it almost turned into a bit of a back three, and everyone moved over one because it was pointless asking Hibbert to get up there and do the sort of thing that Baines could do.
Can bomb forward and
Baines had license and Hibbert didn't, and because of that, the whole back line would sort of all move over
really
as a unit.
Yeah.
It was interesting, and I look at that now, and particularly when I look at Soufal and stuff like that, I think it's not a mirror image of Masuaku. They do have different jobs, and I was interested when Cresswell said, this is slightly more complicated than you're making out. Right, okay. So Aston Villa, are you hopeful for this game?
It's gonna be tough. We can beat them though. We definitely can beat them. We've got enough to beat them. They're a bit wobbly at the minute as well, aren't they? Like, you either get an amazing performance from them or a performance of crap, basically, like a bit like us, really. Like a typical.
Well, like we used to be, I think.
Yeah, like good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. I don't want to use the line "we're due a loss," but I don't know. Whenever we usually play Aston Villa, mate, back in the day, it's usually 1-1, isn't it? 1-1, 2-2. I think every time I've seen West Ham Aston Villa, right back to when I was like 15, 16. 1-1, 2-2. So that, for me, I think it's going to be maybe a scoring draw, quite a decent scoring draw, I think.
And probably a result that suit both teams.
I'll be happy with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I think obviously touched on Grealish earlier. Just superb. Just absolutely superb. And I don't want to ever be so partisan and so blinkered that you can't appreciate a player from another club, particularly if he's representing your country as well. And I do love watching him play. I think he's brilliant. Now it's that old adage, isn't it? I don't particularly want him to play well against West Ham, but I could watch. Honestly, I could watch that geezer play all day. He's effortless. He finds space, and just the way he wins fouls. And it's funny. I look at him and I mean, he's not just winning fouls because people are more aggressive against him. He actually knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he leaves his leg in there just that second late. Yeah.
But not like Salah. Not like Salah. He is genuinely getting fouled, but he genuinely makes himself get fouled. And I reckon, I remember Pele. I don't comparing to Pele, of course, but he's Pele used to say, he just was bruised after every game. Messi says it, his shins are black and blue, honestly, after every game. And you've got to be a bit brave to do that as well, to put yourself in a situation where you're getting kicked. And it ain't, listen, you're a PE teacher, mate. It is bloody painful getting kicked in the leg.
Oh yeah, mate, in the shin.
It's really painful. Yeah. It's really painful. And I think he puts himself up for it, to win free kicks. I think we've got to guard against that, and I'm hoping David Moyes will have a tactical plan for that. Just before we finish up, mate, let's just suppose for a second we do win. I take it you've seen hopefully what I've been saying about okay, well, it's the next game. It's Fulham.
Yeah,
If we could
yeah,
just
mate.
be Fulham,
Yeah,
if we
that's the
could
test.
just be
That's the
Sheffield
test. That's
United,
the test. Yeah.
yeah. And I feel this way again because, and like you said, the West Ham in us makes us feel that we're due a loss. What if we win?
We're
What
flying, mate.
I
We're
mean,
absolutely
what,
flying.
what, what are we going to, I mean, it's crazy times, right?
Yeah, mate, we're flying. We're absolutely flying. If we win, it's like, okay, maybe that Champions League train might start coming out
You
again.
couldn't, you couldn't. Do you know what? The funny thing is, right? I think if we, I think, let's say, for instance, on the final day of the season, we were in fourth position and 3-0 up at half time. You say keep believing, right? I still wouldn't be able to. I would still, the West Ham fan in me going, we're gonna lose 4-3.
You know what? I stopped believing in games after the FA Cup final because I was singing 90th minute, like, hey, we done it. Ever since that day, I've never sang like at that point. Because like the Tevez one, like the year later, it was like everyone was singing like, we're standing up. It's like, no, I'm not singing until that final whistle's gone. I made that mistake too much. It hurts.
It does. And unfortunately, you've now become superstitious because of that. He's got a lot to answer for, Stevie Gerrard, that's for sure. Was a wonderful day, but a terrible day. So lucky to got tickets for that. Me and my old man went to that.
Lovely. Yeah,
I was really
lucky
to go for that day. But
with Villa as well, there is still a lot of pain from. I assume you remember it, mate. The Di Canio. I think it was the Manium and Wimmy one.
The ineligible. Yeah.
So that's one of my earliest memories of when I first had a season ticket when I was about 14. Mate, that's one of the most painful games I've ever been to in my life, that game. When Di Canio missed a penalty in about the 89th minute, David James in goal for them. Well, and Ian Taylor turned into like Paul Gascoigne in that game.
Yeah, well, we never should have been in that position, really, should we? Let's be fair. When Mark Noble said, this club ain't run like a circus anymore, I don't mean the future connotations of it now. Actually, that was what it was. That was typical amateur West Ham, unable to register a player properly and just basically have a look at who was eligible and who wasn't. Absolutely typical West Ham.
I think we would have won it that year as well.
Yeah, this is great. Really, the other one was the Tony Gale one, and I mean, was it Keith? It might have been Keith Hackett. I think it was possibly Keith Hackett was the referee. Destined for misery, mate. Destined for misery. But anyway, that's why I think we need to embrace the fact that we're a little bit solid. You know what? We might have the footballing dream. We said. I think sometimes it will be. Do you know what? I think even when we win 3-0 and 4-0, I don't think it's necessarily pretty. I think it's exciting. I think it's swashbuckling. I think it's fast and it's powerful. And I think there's a lot to mind. But you know what? I just think, mate, you know what? Maybe we don't need pretty for a while.
I don't care if we win, mate.
Maybe we'll take nasty. Maybe we'll take solid.
Maybe Bolton sort of team. You know how Bolton used to just upset people, just wind people up. And
look at the fixture. We're playing West Ham, not West Ham, with their corners and all that. Yeah, I'll take that. It's because we've been on the receiving end of it for far too long, my friend. Luke, I want to thank you, mate, for coming on. All right, you've given me a massive help the last 2 days, mate, to give me some content for the channel. So thank you for that. I would love to pop on yours again at some point and do some bits. You just let me know. Free Hammers, folks, please do give him a follow if you haven't done so already. Give his videos a look. Go and look. Go and interact with him. He's always going live. You do a lot of live, don't you?
Yeah, a lot of live. Yeah, usually a weekend show live by myself. All the gear, no idea.
Yeah,
and then a podcast with Paul in the week. Yeah, that's what we use.
Mate, no, and you know what? You do it right. Make sure you interact with everybody, and that's the way to go. So anyway, right. Listen, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow. Actually, what is tomorrow? So today's
Friday.
Today's Friday. So people are watching this Saturday, which means tomorrow is Sunday. We will be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow, and then the game's Monday, right, Luke?
Yes, Monday night. Yeah,
Monday night. Free weekend. Enjoy your weekend. It's already half gone anyway. Cheers.